What's up, YouTube? Just picked up this generator. Got it for free because it was headed for the trash. I asked what was wrong with it, and the answer was muchas. So I pulled the pull cord here, and it has compression. It's dirty. It's missing some stuff, it looks like. But wanted to see if we can get it going, or see if it indeed is, busted. And if it is, it'll end up in the trash. If it's not, we'll add it to the fleet. Okay, so here we are on the side. Took the air filter cover off. There was no air filter inside. That's not a great sign. Not sure how long it's been going without an air filter. I don't see anything coming from the tank to the carb. The only thing I see that would look like it come from the tank is this fit-in right here. And then we've got some fuel lines, or vacuum, I guess fuel line stuff open. Some open hoses. I'm not sure if this thing's run in a while, but we'll see what we can do. Let's check the spark plug and see if we can get it to spark at least. Take that boot off, take the spark plug out. Okay, here it is, plenty of carbon. We'll hit it with a wire brush and see if we can get it to spark. Okay. Oh yeah, it's sparking. Since this tank is bone dry, that leads me to believe we got something going on with the fuel. Just gonna shoot some carb cleaner in there, see if we can get it to fire off. See if this thing's worth saving. Oh yeah, okay. Alright, just unbolted the gas tank so we can get a better look at what's going on in here, and I'm going to clean the inside of this thing while we got it off. Okay, here's where we're at right now. Cleaned out the fuel tank, cleaned out the carburetor, cleaned out the air box, got some new fuel line. We're going to replace this. It looks like a breather. And then we also got a fuel valve, or a petcock, or whatever you want to call it, that goes from the gas tank to this fuel line to the carburetor. We're going to stick one of those on there that just came via Amazon and see if we can fire it up. Alright, got it from the breather, through this thing, through this hole, and connecting it to the back of the air box here. Okay, this is our new fuel valve petcock. This filter piece goes into the tank, and this is the threaded part. This old one was stuck in there. I pulled it out and doesn't look too good. I don't know how long this has been going without a fuel valve or a filter, but let's stick it in and hope it works. Alright, we've got our petcock on there that goes to the fuel line. Also noticed this was missing. This looks like a choke, so I connected these two with this piece of vacuum line. If everything's working, I'll button it up with hose clamps, but we're just trying to get it to run right now. Alright, we got it running. Now we're going to check with our multimeter what kind of juice we're getting. I also plugged a clip-on lamp in there to see if we can test these sockets real fast. Alright, since we're getting 34 volts sometimes and 120 volts sometimes, I'm going to go ahead and remove this cover off the alternator and do some tests with the multimeter. Pretty dirty. We're going to take out this AVR, automatic voltage regulator, and then start testing the brush, and then doing tests on these legs here. Okay. That's free. 2 wires holding it in. Let's see. The dirty wire is on the left, and the dirty wire is on the right. We'll have to remember that when we put it back in. So while it's tempting to just spray this thing down with brake cleaner and get it looking nice, I'm going to be using the more expensive Electromotive electric parts cleaner. We'll see how it works. I'd say that worked pretty good. You can see what colors the wires are now, and you know, it evaporates right off. We'll see if she still works. Alright, so we've got the AVR removed. We're going to do some voltage tests on these. We're looking for AC voltage of 5 between these two, and 5 volts between these two, and 0 volts between this one and this one. And then on the brush here, if you can kind of see those little tabs right, there's one here and one over there. We're going to try and we want to see 5 volts across that as well. If that's looking good, then we know it's time for a new AVR. Okay, put a new battery in it and made a couple new battery cables and just set those up. I'm not getting anything from the switch, but when I jump the starter with a screwdriver, alright, so I've popped this panel off and up. Got it held on with some clamps here so I can see what's going on, because it just dangles otherwise. Here's our switch. It was connected right here, these two. I was figuring I'll just plug our battery in and see if we can find something hot. Okay, got our tester light clamped onto that bolt for ground. Probe and see what we find in this 6-pin. But it looks like our top right is hot. Alright, so we know this top right one is hot, which would correspond to this top left one on the switch. I put the key, turned it to start and checked all these for resistance. It looks like these top two are the starter. So I'm going to jump these top two and see if we get it to start. Okay, I think we're dealing with a bad solenoid. Got our jumper wire in there from the hot to the starter. Followed that blue wire from the starter all the way down here to the solenoid. There's a solenoid. And when I test it, I'm getting 12. So nothing's happening. And as you know, I can jump it straight across. I'm not going to do that now, but I can jump it straight across and get the starter to go. So let's throw a new solenoid at it and see what happens. $8 solenoid, looks like it's going to fit. Looks like we got just 2 screws holding it in. I've of course disconnected the battery, and let's get this thing in there and see what happens. Alright. Okay, this one's got some sort of boot on it. I'm going to try and be real gentle with and take off. Can't tell what it's doing exactly. Alright, I'll spare you all the time I spent trying to find where the heck I put this new one down, but I got it, and now I'm just putting everything back the way it was except with a new solenoid. Alright, I've got the battery hooked back up, and I hooked the switch back up temporarily. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah! Nice. So I gave this carburetor pretty superficial cleaning to get it going and running, and it will stay running, but to get it started I've had to spray carb cleaner in the air intake every time. It's been running without an air filter. I'm not going to tear into it and try and replace every little part. For 20 bucks, I'm picking up a new carburetor, and we're going to put that in and see how she goes. Always good to look at the new one before you take out the old one. That way you know which pieces the new one comes with and what it doesn't come with. We'll compare these here, and I've got some gaskets in there too. Alright, so comparing the new one with the old one, looks like this big choke assembly thing has to come off. Okay. See how this linkage goes in there. Little skinny one goes hooked onto that. Fat one goes into here. Hopefully we got the same thing going on. Yes, we do. Okay, cool. Oh, there's a broken gasket. They put the new carburetor in there and got the choke assembly all set up on top of it, and now I'm going to take this, I'm guessing it's a throttle control because it's got an electrical connection, replace the old one over here somewhere, wherever that goes to, and then we'll try and fire it up. Alright, so this has been sitting for a couple of days. I'm going to try a cold start with the new carburetor and see what happens. Got to turn on the fuel. Alright, now it's time to put in our automatic voltage regulator. I ended up going with the more expensive option on this one after watching some YouTube videos and reading some discussions about it online. This thing's just got better parts in it and will last longer. Do your own research, of course. You can pick these guys up, the cheap ones, for like 20 bucks. This thing came from England via FedEx. All out the door was like $70, but I figured it'll last a long time, so let's go for it. Let's stick it in. Okay. Alright, got that new AVR in. Let's give it a start and see what happens. Got my multimeter plugged in, trying to do this one-handed here. So as you can see, I'm getting 120 out of all the outlets. The throttle control even started working when I click it on right here, which is awesome. That way it doesn't use as much gas when there's a high load. You can see it click right there. This thing's gonna work out great and come in real handy when the Texas grid leaves us high and dry. In the future, I might try sticking a better muffler on it and definitely some wheels, but it works great for now. Thanks for watching. Peace.